Hello, my name is Tony and today I'm going to be mulling over the joy of wasting Nazis and why this worthwhile and noble pastime makes for terrific entertainment in one of my all-time favourite war movies. It's a cliche, I know, but what's not to like? Well, Nazis. Everyone hates them, apart from, that is, other Nazis. Sure, give them their due, they knew how to dress smartly. I mean, no one's going to deny that when in comparison with the Allied forces, Nazi regalia looks infinitely more stylish and cool. So much so that many famous people have enjoyed Sieg-heiling it up in this distinctive garb in the past, including Peter Sellers, Lemmy from Motorhead, and Prince Harry. Yes, the Nazis knew how to cut a dash and influence fashion, but really, slaughtering 9 million Jews, waging global warfare and genocide, and indulging in mass butchery, destruction and torture on a grand scale means they are forever to be vilified and hated by the majority of us. If history has not been kind to the Nazis, it's with darn good fucking reason. That's a fact. Lucky then that us ordinary folk have at our disposal the means to give vicarious vent to our distaste and experience the sheer joy of the Nazis getting their comeuppance. For gamers, there is the Wolfenstein series of first-person shooters, and jolly good fun they are too. But if you want to know where the inspiration for dual-wield machine guns came from, then look no further. Movie watchers itching to see a heap of Nazis deservedly by the farm where eagles dare is your poison. Along with Robert Aldrich's superlative The Dirty Dozen, which was released in the same year, Where Eagles Dare is the ultimate boys' own wish fulfillment Second World War Nazi turkey shoot, and one of the coolest war movies of all time. I make no bones here, I love it. Is it a big hit in Germany? I very much fucking doubt, but why worry about that? Whereas The Dirty Dozen is a tremendous movie, it does spend most of its run-in time out of the war zone and focused on the whipping into shape of the motley crew of death row military prisoners for their suicide mission behind enemy lines. Don't get me wrong, the preamble is good fun, and when it finally gets around to the mission, it is in no way disappointing. But I prefer the way that Where Eagles Dare starts with the mission already in play and slips in just a brief segment of flashback exposition to explain the setup. There is no slow build here, oh no, straight into the action. This factor helps nudge it into the lead for me. Okay, so The Dirty Dozen clearly has more character development going on and an ensemble cast to die for. Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson, Telly Savalas, John Cassavetes, Donald Sutherland, Ernest Borgnine, Jim Brown, Clint Walker, Robert Ryan, Ralph Meeker, and it's arguably a more brutal and adult-orientated slab of war cinema with a much more cynical vibe, and crucially a lot of Nazis do bite the old dirt sandwich in some quite wonderfully unpleasant ways. Light 'em up! And yet, Alistair MacLean's convoluted and twisty original script, which he turned into a novel at pretty much the same time as the movie was being filmed, is deliberately designed to shift like an overfueled V2 rocket on nitroglycerine steroids. The plot is a twisty, labyrinthine vehicle for the pyrotechnics and mayhem. It drives the action without begging too much thought. Not that it stands still long enough for much thinking to take place. A group of crack Brit paratroops and one American are dropped into snow-swept Bavaria to rescue an American general who is being held captive by Fritzy in the impenetrable Schloss Adler, a vertiginous stronghold reachable only by cable car and helicopter. General Carnaby is, however, a fake, an American actor impersonating the real article. From then on in, it gets increasingly more complicated with agents, double agents, and triple agents. But what the fuck, who really cares? It still barely slows for breath. The two male leads, 60s movie icons in their own distinct ways, are unlikely bedfellows to say the least. We get boozy Shakespearean Welsh actor Richard Burton and sardonic, minimalist American screen anti-hero Clint Eastwood. Yet the oddly satisfying way in which their polar opposite acting styles complement each other is a rare surprise. Both stars seem to be having a ball, and neither overshadows the other. It makes for intriguing and indeed compelling viewing. Male fantasy eye candy is provided courtesy of Burton's covert espionage partner Mary Ewer and Bea Keller barmaid Ingrid Pitt, both more than pretty and sexy enough to deliver brief visual respite from the ongoing carnage. The film has an almost biblical disregard for human life and revels in arbitrary death and destruction. The wickedly self-satisfied laughter of Burton as he and Eastwood blow up half a Bavarian village as a distraction and flee on a motorcycle and sidecar combo gives a clear hint at the gratuitous lack of conscience at play here. Indeed, those detestable Nazis are shot, strangled, stabbed, blown up, incinerated, hurled through car windscreens, kicked off cable cars, thrown down mountainous drops, with a frivolous and satisfying sense of cruel glee. Eastwood's Special Forces assassin is as blackly humorous as he is cold and lethal. His stock greeting of "Hello? Hello?" just before he shoots someone point blank or machine guns a stairwell full of Germans somehow strangely helps make him a likeable character. He kills more people in this film than he has in any other to date. The dialogue is littered with throwaway witticisms and memorable catchphrases.
Thank you. What were you and that major talking about?
I told him I was Himmler's brother.
Yeah, well, I could see where that would shake him up a little.
More than a little, I should think. Well, that was quick.
Beer let him wings, as the saying goes.
Broadsword calling Danny boy.
Shouldn't go on these insane missions. You're getting too old.
Thank you for those few kind words.
In the end, though, the aim of the film is to cram as much non-stop action and suspense into its running time as it can, and waste as many sons of the fatherland as possible in the process. Technically, it is very much a product of its time. The back projection on the cable car scenes and elsewhere is evidently poor by today's standards, and in many other respects it shows its age. Also, Eastwood's resolutely 60s hairstyle and laconic hip demeanour place him somewhat incongruously in a whole different time frame altogether. Yet it continues to remain a ripping yarn and a terrific thrill ride with a cracking cast. I've watched it dozens of times over the years and something always seems to draw me back to it. I've obviously seen what I consider to be more worthy and meaningful war movies a mere once or twice and probably never will again. I'm thinking of Nolan's Dunkirk and Spielberg's Saving Ryan's Privates, where Eagles Dare is sheer cinematic entertainment and that always will out. And it's a great Christmas movie to boot. I mean, if you can't enjoy a load of Nazis getting blasted to bits at Christmas, when can you, eh? If only the Sound of Music had machine guns and plastique. Thanks for listening, whoever you are, wherever you may be. It's been a pleasure as always. If you have enjoyed this video in some small way, please patronise my sorry ass by hitting like or even subscribing. Here's a song called Lost Patrol. Listen up, man, the captain said we gotta take the bridge on the road ahead. If we don't do it, there'll be thousands dead, and there'll be no winning the war. Dying of thirst in the desert heat, we had cheapskate boots on our blistered feet. Jamming magazines and no food to eat, really can't take any more. Save our souls, save our but we'll get the job done, just give us a gun, a pat on the head and a place in the sun. Still it ain't much fun when the squad's only one and you're the lost patrol. Keep up the dead advise, you gotta move your ass to the distant rise. The vultures above wanna peck out your eyes and eat all the flesh from your frame. Battlefield blues and plumes of smoke, the radio dead cause the switch was broke. Don't know about you but I don't get the joke, truly can't remember my name. Save our souls, save our but we'll get the job done, just give us a gun, a pat on the head and a place in the sun. Still it ain't much fun when the squad's only one and you're the lost patrol. Get your filthy hands off our desert. You reach the end of the trail. Those Taliban girls are ferociously cruel, snarling red lips and harder than nails. Save our souls, save our souls. But we'll get the job done, just give us a gun, a pat on the head, and a place in the sun. Still it ain't much fun when the squad's only one, and you're the lost patrol.